Okay, it looks like I am live. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or evening, whenever the time is that you're watching this. I hope you are doing well. I hope you've had a good week. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name's Chigo. Lovely to meet you. And if you're returning, hey, fam, I see you. Thanks again for coming back. So, today we're going to do another reaction to one of the governing body updates, the ones that they have separately, and I believe I will be on number, let's come here a minute, I'll share my screen in just a second. Update number 4 for 2022. So I'm not sure how often they're doing this. I don't know, it's like a monthly thing, because I thought it was monthly, but we are on number 4 and it is August, and I think there's just one more after this. So it's interesting. If anyone knows how often they do this, please let me know. But I am getting sidetracked. I hope you're all doing well. I hope everyone's staying safe, keeping well, as everything is happening. Who knows? Who knows what is happening? So for this one, we have Samuel Heard this time. I played around a little bit with the video to see if there's a way I can, make it faster or anything like that, but I can't see anything. So feel free to listen to this in, double speed or 1.5, 1.25. I seem to be doing that a lot in general with the videos that I watch, trying to watch them in faster speed, especially on YouTube. And I think every player should have that option. But again, getting sidetracked. So I will go ahead and share the screen, and we will see what Samuel Heard has to tell us today. So let's do that. I want this one. Usually I would have it ready for when I share, but this time I decided to do it on here. So hopefully I've shared that right and the sound is working. Do you know what? Just to be doubly sure, I'm just going to do that again because I cannot remember. I cannot remember whether the audio tab shared as well. And I just need to be sure that it's doing that. Okay, so it looks like it did that before. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to jump straight in. And this is one of my quickest starts, actually. So let's jump in.
Welcome, brothers and sisters. It's a pleasure to be with you. In this update, we're going to share a few brief reports. Then we'll watch a very encouraging video interview. I'm sure you'll find it faith strengthening.
Well, we'll see about that.
First, here are the updates. In late April, Brother Mark Sanderson traveled to Poland. A special meeting was held at the Assembly Hall in Warsaw to encourage the brothers and sisters affected by the ongoing war in Ukraine. Over 250,000 from Poland, Ukraine, and the Donbass region tied in for the program. One circuit overseer in the Donbass region wrote, "It was a wonderful program and food at the proper time."
I see. So it sounds like Mark Sanderson is the guy that's been sent out, and I've heard a lot of people comment on he seems to be the one, and by the one I mean among the 8 governing body members that is more media savvy. So yeah, I mean, kind of makes sense. I think he's also the youngest as well, so he's the one that's been sent out. They're all masked up. I mean, as if these people have not been through enough already. Then they have to deal with Samuel Heard, Mike Sanderson coming in, and again, as you have heard me say a lot of times, is giving people false hope, promises of something that they absolutely have no way of showing that is the case, and so it's sad. But let's carry on.
It brings tears of joy to see how Jehovah loves us. After the program, Brother Sanderson and 3 branch committee members traveled 2,500 kilometers or 1,550 miles throughout Poland to visit refugees and hardworking volunteers at assembly halls, kingdom halls, and border crossings.
Hang on, why do they need to carry the JW.org sign? Do they think they'll forget who they are, or is it propaganda for people? Because I mean, everybody here knows what's going on. Mike Sanderson knows. If these are the brothers, they know. So why do they hold on? I don't know if you can see this. My let's see if it's up on the screen. No, it's not. My what's it called? VPN. That's the word I'm looking for. My VPN is popping up, asking me to do something. We'll do that later. But like, why do they need to have? Let me move over here because I just realized, my face was not in the camera there. Why do they need to have the JW.org sign unless they're using this opportunity to yet again sell themselves, which is like they don't take a day off, do they? Like there's no rest, there's no day of, let's just do something just for the sake of it. It's always, um something to do with how do we advance the cause of Watchtower. There's no break.
Truly, this visit was a warm expression of Jehovah's love for his people. We sincerely thank all of you for your prayers and generous donations that make the relief work possible. On May 4th, 71-year-old Sister Valentina Baranoskaya was finally released from prison. She was in prison for well over a year.
Poor woman. What
What
for?
a warm reception she received. We rejoice with you, Sister Valentina, but we've not forgotten that your son, Roman, is still in prison for his faith. We keep you both in our prayers. On May 24th, Brother Dennis Christensen was released from a prison in Russia. He spent 5 years in various detention facilities. After his release, he was immediately deported. He and his wife, Irina, are now safe in Denmark, as we can see in the following video.
It's so bizarre, though. On the one hand, it's like to think that there are people being imprisoned in the here and now for what they believe. I mean, this is not me sticking up for this, but I don't know. I don't think people should be in prison for what they believe. Now, if they're acting on it in a way that's hurting other people, which, in this day and age, if it's not physical, I think separating families, discouraging people from taking life-saving treatment, things like that. It is harmful, but it's harder to show, and so it is a tough one. It's a tough one. You can you can see me thinking through it and grappling through it. My hesitation comes from the fact that, like I've said plenty of times, I think the members are victims of this situation themselves, and so to have them being imprisoned as well, that doesn't sit right. But it's very odd. But of all the things to go to prison for, it's the governing body. Come on, what a shame.
Day is a happy day. A happy day because I at least got free from the prison, and I came home to Copenhagen, Denmark, where I can again be together with my friends and my beloved family. I'm also looking forward to that I can live a more normal family life with my beloved wife Irina. I'm very glad and I appreciate all that all the brothers and sisters has done for me in these 5 years. Uh,
Oh,
all
God.
these thoughts, all these letters, all these prayers, all the drawings and other gifts that I got from the
So was
children
he originally
has
from
encouraged
Denmark?
me a lot. And through all this, I have always felt that I was not alone, that Jehovah's hand was never too short to save, to support,
Not
and to help.
Jehovah's hand
Many
again.
people ask me,
That hand
"Oh,
that has the
Dennis,
wrong
have
priority.
the prison time crossed you? Did they break you?" No way, never, ever. And you know what? I am more determined than ever to be faithful to Jehovah, more determined to preach the good news, to help other brothers and sisters and other people to gain our goals. The goal is eternal life in paradise, where we all have the opportunity to serve and praise Jehovah forever. So, no, I'm not broken. No, I'm not crossed. I'm still here. I'm back.
All right, he's the
We rejoice
Terminator.
with
I'm back. I will be back, and I will be waiting. No, is that another movie? I'm thinking of something else. Anyway, on a more serious note, poor guy, 5 years of his life. If he had kids, that's 5 years of his kids not seeing him, of him not being in their lives, for being part of a cult. What a waste! What a bloody waste! Um, he has that look in his eyes, um, that look of someone who is just all in. And you may have heard me say this, like it gets to a point where like, is it worth someone waking up if they've given so much to this group? Is it worth them waking up and realizing that it was all for nothing, which is the kinder path for them? Sometimes I'm not sure, but poor guy. At least he's back to his family now. But what a shame! What a shame!
you, Dennis and Irina. Your faith and integrity have strengthened all of us. We're overjoyed to have you back. Although we're happy about these developments, we keep in mind that around the world, over 150 of our brothers and sisters are in prison for their faith.
Over
In
150.
Russia, 4 brothers are serving 8-year prison sentences, and one sister is
Russia's
serving a
just
six
moving
year
mad.
sentence. Hebrews 13:3 says, "Keep in mind those in prison, as though you were imprisoned with them." How can we keep our imprisoned brothers and sisters in mind? If we live close by, there may be practical things we can do to assist, but all of us can pray for them and their family members every day. We also can meditate on their fine example. When we see these brothers and sisters endure unjust imprisonment and do so with joy, we're encouraged to imitate their faith.
Okay.
We're motivated
I
to
am
endure our own.
I am trying to think like what is the point of all this? What is the message? If I put myself in the position of a witness right now who's watching this, what is the message? Be prepared to go to prison. Be prepared to turn your life upside down, um, for this religion, for this group of men, for this set of beliefs. Be prepared to do that. Um, and then you might just appear in one of these videos. You will get people, well, you'll be treated like a celebrity. You'll be treated like a hero. Like, what is the message here? And when they focus on stories like this, like what is the underlying message here? And for a group of men who will not inconvenience themselves in any way, how dare they ask their members to be willing to go to prison, to be willing to give themselves a criminal record, to be willing to disrupt their whole lives just to keep these men happy. It's cheeky. Let me carry on.
Own current trials, and we're assured that we can endure future trials with joy. In the following video interview, two brothers from Russia share how they faithfully and joyfully endured a 4-year prison sentence.
My criminal prosecution began on July 22, 2018. It was a Sunday. A meeting was in progress. After the search had finished, they told me that I had to go with them.
I opened the door because FSB officers were persistently ringing the doorbell. Then after a few seconds came the sound of smashing glass. They'd smashed the balcony, then broken down the door on the balcony.
So they are reenacting this. They had people in uniforms pretend to be the FSB for the purposes of this propaganda. Like, why? Oh, sorry. Why? He could just say it. Like, what is the point of reenacting this? It's almost like they're so invested in driving the point home as much as possible. And by the way, witnesses, this is what you can expect, and be prepared to deal with it. And we're not just going to tell you that this is what's going to happen. We are going to show you. So we're going to get into costume and pretend to break glass. And did they pretend to have a gun as well? This is a bit too invested for me.
balcony. And when my wife had tried to tell them the door was already open so that they wouldn't smash anything, pieces of glass cut her forehead and a vein was... They cut a vein in her hand.
Oh, man.
And then the officers approached me and showed me the search warrant. And I said to them, I'm not interested in the warrant. Call an ambulance. We wanted to send my wife to the hospital, but she decided to stay with me. The search continued for 5 hours. So they locked me up. 2 days later, there was a court hearing at which they ruled to place me under arrest and send me to pretrial detention center.
Wow. So this is the focus of this episode then.
The most difficult part of all the persecution was being in the pressure cell. When I entered, or rather, when the warders and guards of the detention center pushed me in there, the first thing I heard was the word, "Get down on your knees." But I told them that the only person I went down on my knees for was God. Then they started shouting, ridiculing me, though I didn't understand what they were asking of me.
I'm not laughing at him. This is a tough one. So it looks like this episode 4 is going to be about persecution. They're really going to hone in on that. They're going to dig into that, explore that, exploit it, get everything that they can out of this. We've got the music going on in the background, the emotional music, and these poor men that are actually, putting themselves through this. Like, they are being exploited, not just in the experiences they went through. They are being used to tell the rest of the members, this is what you must be prepared to go through. So this whole thing is just sad. It's just sad, but it sort of comes back to sometimes the argument you hear about, if people were willing to die for something, that must mean that it's true. Well, it's not. It is not. There are many religions. There are many religions that people have been willing to die for. They can't all be correct. So it's either one of them is correct and the rest of them are wrong, or they're all wrong, because what they're saying is wildly different. And so this whole thing is just sad. I think this is going to be a sad one, and this might actually be the first time I don't finish it. I might have to come back to this because I already think this is getting quite long, and I'm not even halfway through. So I might have to make this a two-part one. What a mess. What an absolute mess.
Or what they wanted. I only found out after several hours, when they told me directly that I had to give them information about two brothers who had been detained in a neighboring town. They laid out instruments of torture in front of me and said that I wouldn't be able to stand it or hold out. So I'd better agree to cooperate with them. I didn't give any evidence against those brothers, because I knew it would make their situation worse.
I faced my own hardships when I was put into pretrial detention. Every day, from morning to night, they have the radio on. The radio is very loud in the cells. People are talking. Then after several months in the detention center, they put me into a solitary confinement cell. I was worried about who I would preach to if I had to spend the whole period there.
Excuse me? Excuse me? That's what you're worried about? Who you would preach to? I know, it's not... Wow. Wow. Oh, the brainwashing is deep. It's really deep. So you are put in solitary confinement, and your first concern is, who am I going to preach to? I don't know, man. This is so sad. This is just sad all around. I'm going to give it another 3 minutes or so just to get to the halfway point. This is too much. I mean, this man looks like he's on the verge of tears every 2 minutes. Like, I don't know when he was released. The man is still fit. I'm worried for him. And that's what he feels like he has to say. Oh, Toni Morrison Cole. Oh, you are just nasty.
That evening, I prayed very hard.
Oh, we're going to double down on that.
A few days later, a man was placed in the cell next to mine. He had been in prison for 13 years. In the last year, he had begun to think deeply about spiritual subjects and even started to read the Bible. We often talked to him about spiritual matters every day, several hours. I sang kingdom songs to him and read scriptures that the brothers and sisters had sent me in letters.
One of those who were in the pressure cell collaborated with the administration, and physically he was very strong, like a mountain of muscle. The thought came to me that what was in front of me was actually 80% water. I don't know, but maybe at that moment I even smiled. But that thought, which undoubtedly Jehovah gave me, at that moment changed my view of those people.
There was a cell next to mine that was...
Wait, is it referring to how we're mostly made up of water and that helped him? Whatever, mate.
So a solitary confinement cell, and it was often empty. Almost every day, I prayed to Jehovah that my friend and brother Vadim would be transferred to that cell. When Vadim found out that I was making requests like that to Jehovah, he said, Sergey, you're too naive. You and I, in prison terms, are partners in crime. So by law, we wouldn't be allowed to be in adjacent cells. I said, let's just wait and see.
But in the evening, someone came into my cell and said, "Lechuk, you are being transferred." And they took me out to a different block, took me into a cell, and I heard Sergei's voice in the next cell through the wall saying, "Vadim, is that you?" I said, "Yes, it's me." And he said, "Oh, that's wonderful. I begged Jehovah for you." And when I heard that he begged for me to be moved to the next cell, I was quite angry.
Hang on. I thought you said he already had the conversation and he said, oh, no, that's not going to happen. But then you got moved, and this is the first time again you're hearing of it. Get your story straight. But anyway.
Because my return visits had been messed up. We had agreed that I would tell them a Bible story. But then I realized why Jehovah had arranged things in that way. Because we both needed emotional support from each other.
And we were together for 2 weeks. We read and discussed the text for each day, and we shared thoughts from letters.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna stop there. That's as much as I can take today. Wow. I'm gonna finish the rest of it next time. So it looks like this episode is going to be all about persecution of the poor people who actually take Tony Morris and his friends seriously and disrupt their whole lives and upend their lives and be willing to die for this. You know, I'm sure there are people that have died. And then best case scenario, their family lives are disrupted for months, years, whatever. And the governing body gets to use their stories for propaganda. They get to use it to show everybody else, hey, look, this is you too can be on video if you just persevere, if you just get through this, if you just tough it out. These are the same people who would not put themselves through any discomfort and go to every length to escape just being asked questions, just to answer questions. So this whole thing is disgusting. I feel awful for the members because that could easily be my mother. That could easily be my brother. I mean, I can totally see them being willing to go to any length. They are that level of committed. My dad and my sister, probably, but in terms of absolutely being certain, my mother, my brother, they would die for this group. And this is disgusting, man. This is disgusting. And governments that give them even more of an excuse to say, look at us, we're being persecuted. Well, it's awful to say, but you're nothing special. There are people being persecuted anywhere, everywhere. None of it is right, but that doesn't make it true. That doesn't make what you believe correct. And going back to what I said earlier, at some point you start to think, right, is it worth them waking up and realizing that they gave all that time for nothing? Or is it better they just stay in the belief eternally? And again, to what end is all of this? I think about, was it the story of Job they had the last time, where it's like a bet that he had with God? Just, look, they are so faithful. You can put them through anything and they're still faithful. This is what this reminds me of, except in this case is Watchtower saying, look how loyal these people are. Look how faithful these people are. You should be prepared to go through the same thing. And again, times like this, that I am so thankful that I left. I am so thankful that I left before my child could be indoctrinated into all of this. I cannot imagine being willing to die for a group of men like this, running a real estate company. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there before I keep rambling. The first time I haven't finished the video because it just got too much. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any comments, anything that I missed, share it. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will speak to you on the next one so I don't go past half an hour.